The pleasure to moderate this edition of the digital series of the Global Manufacturing and Industrialisation Summit. So today we are discussing mainly how small island development countries and their economies, particularly their manufacturing and servicing sectors, can benefit from the information and communication technologies.
For UNIDO, the theme of ICT is of course a key, as it impacts trade capacities, quality infrastructure, and compliance to standards.
The regulatory environment needs to be strengthened to promote a dynamic and sustainable ICT sector. Over half the SIDS are what we call the second generation of regulation out of currently 5, and they are facing difficulties confronting disruption to their ICT markets.
As countries push these sustainable goals, we have to recognize that islands doesn't have what we call a super grid, doesn't have a lot of interconnections that will give us reliability and availability. And that's really what people want. They want to know that power is always available and that it's reliable. As countries move towards decentralization, decarbonization, what are some of the things that we need to do to ensure that reliability and availability and affordability are consistent with what the people require?
There needs to be more focus on having manufacturing facilities in the small islands where the consumption is in small islands itself, so that the transportation costs to larger countries and other continents is not needed. In other words, basically having manufacturing facilities for just local consumption.
Whether it's political will or the policy intention of really doing some of the difficult work, the foundational work that may not necessarily give us the political accolades that we might need, but will put us in a considerably better position to leverage some of the developments and some of those foundations in the longer term. So I do think that it's really about us being very intentional with our planning and the execution more importantly.
The COVID-19 lockdown and the supply interruption have demonstrated how important ICTs are, these communication technologies. So I think we can summarize that the post-COVID island economy needs to be green, blue, and digital.